CJ Flyer back with another YouTube video. Kyrie Irving has been nothing short of outstanding in the absence of Luka Doncic, as the Dallas Mavericks have been winning numerous games throughout the season so far. We go ahead and take a look at the past 10 games, and you can see that they are, 8-2, right? 7-3, with those 3 losses being within 5 points or less. So Kyrie has done a tremendous effort keeping this Mavericks team alive, in addition to the rest of the rotation players. Got to give a shout out to Najee Marshall, PJ Washington, Quentin Grimes, Derek Lively, Daniel Gafford, and company. That being said, I was scrolling through NBA Reddit today and came across this post that I got to admit, even as a Mavs fan at first, my first impression was it's a bit delusional. Kyrie Irving is an All-NBA player this year, averaging 25, 5, and 6 on elite efficiency. This is with him playing as the first option for 6 games with Luka out. There are also 5 wins, 1 loss in those games. Mavs are 5th in offensive rating, 7th in defensive rating. Okay, look, first of all, if we go ahead, let's take a look at Kyrie's numbers here. I'm about to, give this guy the benefit of the doubt. Let's just look at the stats here. Just put the stats in a silo, forget narrative, forget team success, everything else. Let's just look at the stats. So far this year, 24.8 points per game, 4.8 rebounds, 5.6 assists, 1.2 steals per game, 3-point percentage, 46.6%. Now, a little bit of context with these stats. It was only a few games ago that Kyrie was averaging over 50% from 3 per game. So that has dropped, and I expect that it will continue to drop at least a little bit. The law of averages will play out. I don't expect that Kyrie's going to finish the season averaging 45% or higher from 3. I mean, that's an absurd expectation. Last year, not last year, but the 2015 season, and I guess last year, pretty close, and the 2022 season, 3 times he's averaged around 41 to 42% from 3. So I really don't expect him to have a career high in 3-point percentage at the end of the season. Could it happen? Sure. I just don't expect it. And then if we go ahead and look at the All-NBA winners from the previous year, I went ahead and pulled the stats for the All-NBA third team for the guards. Obviously, the awards are positionless, but I think it's better to compare the stats with the guards that won All-NBA third team last year rather than the forwards or the centers, who are more reliant on rebound numbers, block numbers, and so forth. So if we look at Tyrese Haliburton, obviously those assist numbers are really high. He was averaging only 17.5 points per game. But what really carried him was I'm looking at this season. Last season, 20 points per game, averaging 11 assists per game. The assist numbers are what carried him as far as getting the All-NBA award. So he's not the best comparison. If we look at Steph Curry last year, 26 points per game, 4.5 rebounds, 5 assists. Now that is a stat line that is more comparable to Kyrie Irving's. He also averaged 41% from 3. 51% for 2-pointers, and if we look at Kyrie's stats here, pretty comparable. 41% from 3, 55% from 2. The main difference, and this is reason number 1 why Kyrie will likely not win an All-NBA award this year, is because he doesn't play enough games to be eligible. So you need to play 65 games out of 82 in a season to qualify for the end of season awards now, and he has not averaged 65 games or more, or had 65 games played or more in a season since 2019 when he was with the Celtics. That's how long it's been. It was 2 teams ago. It's been a long time since Kyrie has played a large portion of the regular season. That's not to say that he won't do it this season. I just think it's highly unlikely. If we go back and look at now Devin Booker, he's the other guard that won All-NBA third team recognitions last year. He averaged 27 points per game, 4.5 rebounds, 7 assists. So again, those assist numbers a bit high. His 3-point percentage was a bit lower than Kyrie's. However, once again, those assists will carry you. And in order to be on an All-NBA team, you usually have to do more than just score the ball and score it well. You have to do other things as well. And although Kyrie is obviously doing those other things, it's really going to come down to the games played. And there's just a lot of players this year that are also deserving of the award. And I'm not sure that the media is going to go all in on Kyrie Irving and vote for him for All NBA. I just don't see it, especially once Luka comes back, he's likely to overshadow him. I just don't see it. I really don't see it. I think the odds are low. I don't want to completely call this post out as delusional, although that was my first impression. The stats are pretty close, comparable to the All-NBA third-team winners of the previous year. However, games played, narrative, having Luka on your team, and the fact that these numbers are not going to be that high by the end of the season, I can almost guarantee you he's not going to be averaging 46, 47% from three by the end of the season. That's just an unrealistic expectation to have for Kyrie Irving. Although it's great that he's done that so far, 19 games in, it's very unrealistic. I would love to see that, but I don't think it's going to happen. Let me know what you think in the comments down below about this, but I personally, I think the odds are against Kyrie in regards to winning all NBA recognitions at this point in his career, even with the current stat line as it stands. But let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts. That being said, let's go ahead and, as we do every single day and every single video that we upload, we predict the NBA games for the day, and we compare to the FanDuel Sportsbook betting odds. I'm not promoting or encouraging use FanDuel Sportsbook. I'm not partnered or affiliated with any sports betting, sports gambling site. If you're going to use those responsibly. I'm just sharing my opinion for fun and something to compare to. This is not financial or betting advice. So we got 10 games today. We got the Magic at the Nets, Pacers at Grizzlies, Celtics at Cavs, Pelicans at Knicks, Heat at Raptors, Thunder at Rockets, Lakers at Jazz, Mavs on the second day of a back-to-back at the Trailblazers, Spurs at Kings, and Nuggets at Clippers. So 10 games today. We got some good ones. I think that Celtics-Cavs game is going to be exciting. The Thunder-Rockets game, of course, two of the top teams in the West currently. And also, I think the Nuggets and Clippers could be kind of fun, personally. So that being said, let's go ahead, start making predictions. The Nets have a ton of injuries right now. If we go ahead and take a look, they have Finney-Smith out, they got Cam Thomas out, they got Bogdanovich out. Those are some of their key guys that are ruled out currently. So right off the bat, I'm taking the Orlando Magic on this one. Obviously, the Nets had some of those same injuries against the Suns a couple days ago and still ended up winning, but I think the Magic win this one on the road. Pacers and Grizzlies. Pacers have their bigs out. Grizzlies, Zach Edey is out. However, they still got Jaren Jackson Jr. I'll take the Grizzlies at home. Celtics and Cavs. Celtics have a lot of players that are day-to-day right now. Key guys like Derek White, Al Horford, Drew Holiday, Porzingis, all listed as questionable for today. And then meanwhile, on the Cleveland side, yes, they have Max Strus and Dean Wade out, but they have most of their core available. And with it being at home, I think Cleveland bounces back in their regular season series against the Celtics and win this one today. Pelicans at Knicks. Pelicans have both Brandon Ingram and Zion out. We're taking the Knicks. Heat at Raptors. Raptors have some key guys out right now. We're going to go ahead with the Miami Heat. Thunder and Rockets. Let's go ahead and just make sure that there isn't anyone I'm forgetting. Obviously, Caruso, Chet Holmgren are out for the Thunder. Going over to Houston here. Let's scroll down a bit. I feel like I just passed them twice now. Oh, you know what? Houston doesn't have anyone out. That's why. So I am leaning towards Houston just because of the lack of bigs available for OKC. Obviously, they got Isaiah still. But Houston being at home as well, I'm going to go ahead with the Houston Rockets. Lakers at Jazz, we'll take the Lakers. Mavs at Trailblazers, we'll take the Mavs on the second day of a back-to-back. Spurs at Kings. Kings have been struggling a bit. If we go ahead and look at the standings, you can see that in their last 10, they are 3-7. Meanwhile, the Spurs 6-4. And then if we look at the injury report for Sacramento, they have some guys that are out. DeRozan is listed probable for today, so he will likely play. Kevin Huerter, though, is still out, listed as doubtful. Trey Lyles is out. And then looking at the San Antonio Spurs, they only have Jeremy Sohan out. I'm going to take the Spurs on the road. It's going to be a tough battle, but the Spurs can take this one. Nuggets at Clippers. We will likely take, I got to think about this one because this one's also kind of tough. Nuggets have not been too shabby with Westbrook recently. And then the Clippers, also not too bad. We'll take the Clippers being the home team here. And so going ahead and comparing to the odds, we got Orlando favored on the road, Memphis favored at home, Boston favored by 1 on the road, New York favored at home, Miami favored on the road, OKC favored on the road. So those are 2 that we are going against the betting odds so far. Sacramento favored at home by a bigger margin than I thought, but we're still taking the Spurs. And then the Nuggets favored on the road. So there's actually 4 of the 10 games that we're going against the betting favorites today. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And click one of the videos on your screen now for some more NBA discussion.